Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about vitamin infusions and what are some symptoms that may suggest that you need or should try a vitamin infusion. So 5 symptoms that you would consider that you need IV vitamins or vitamin infusions. Number 1 would be fatigue. So fatigue, this generic, I just don't feel well, my energy levels are low, is usually your brain or some other organ not making enough energy, not functional. And so if there's an organ that's not moving as fast as the other organs, then your whole body is going to slow down and you will feel fatigued. The idea is that your body can only move as fast as its slowing moving part. Another way to say that is if you put a donut on one of the wheels of your car and it can only go 45 miles an hour, then it doesn't matter if you have a Ferrari, you can only go 45 miles an hour because of that one wheel. So if your brain is dysfunctional because it doesn't have the nutrients it needs, then it will be fatigued. You will be fatigued. And so one of the ways around that is to give your body the nutrients that it needs through a quick intravenous infusion. So that's number 1 is fatigue. Number 2 is brain fog, which isn't too much different. Brain fog is mainly saying that the brain is dysfunctional. It's not making enough energy. Why is it not making enough energy? Is usually from lack of nutrients, inflammation, autoimmunity, many causes. But one of the big components is if you can restore your nutrients, then your brain fog should improve. Number 3, and this is kind of a big broad category, and I wanted it that way intentionally, but I'm going to say gut dysfunction. So any gut dysfunction just makes sense that you may need IV vitamins. The idea is that if you have gut dysfunction, and that includes from the top down, is there heartburn, reflux, is there gas and bloating, is there constipation, is there diarrhea, is there any dysfunction when you're eating or poor digestion, whatever you may want to call it, that's telling you that you're not absorbing your food very well, you're not breaking down your food very well, you have the wrong microbiome or something is overgrown in there. It is important to realize that your gut is the roots of your tree. So there's trees outside my window. If they do not have an adequate root system, if you take a shovel and dig up their roots, then you can pour the greatest water, the most clean, reverse osmosis, no heavy metal water, you can fertilize it all you want. That tree is going to die if it does not have the root system it needs to absorb its nutrients. That is the same thing as your gut. Your gut is your roots into your food. And so if there's inflammation in your bowels, if there's overgrowth, then your roots are dysfunctional. You can eat the best, cleanest, awesomest diet, but if you can't actually absorb those nutrients, then they're not working. And so one of our sayings in our office is, you're not what you eat, you are what you absorb. So if you're only absorbing the carbs from food, then you're a carboholic. Even if you're eating a high-fat diet, you are what you absorb. So if you're not absorbing the nutrients, then you're not healthy. There's a lot of people out there that are stuck on this regimented, strict diet, and as soon as they fall off the plan, everything comes rushing back. That usually means that there's some underlying gut dysfunction that you are keeping at bay with your clean diet, but it ultimately needs to be treated and fixed so that occasionally you can have that snack or treat and not completely fall off the wagon. So if your roots are dysfunctional, using an IV vitamin, and this is a Myers cocktail syringe, using an IV vitamin goes around those roots of your tree or your gut and puts the nutrients directly into your system. I'll talk more about that in a second. Number 4 big category that you may need vitamin infusions is autoimmunity. So autoimmunity is a systemic problem. No matter if it's rheumatoid arthritis and your joints hurt, whether it's lupus and you're inflamed in your kidneys, your brain, your lungs, wherever, or Hashimoto's, your thyroid is inflamed. Autoimmunity is always a systemic disease. You may have one organ that's affected more than the others, but when you have autoimmunity, you have systemic inflammation, and you can have inflammation anywhere, not just the organ that you feel is affected. The other organs may be affected as well. A good functional medicine doctor can help you connect those pieces. But anytime you have autoimmunity, you always have gut dysfunction, you always have leaky gut, and naturally, if you have leaky gut, you're not absorbing your nutrients. That's just in the name. It's leaking. Your nutrients are leaking out of you, and you're not getting the nutrients you need. So a vitamin infusion can help you there too. Number 5 reason is going to be a recurrent infection. So I'm constantly getting sinus infections, or I'm constantly getting viruses, or I have chronic EBV, I have chronic herpes, shingles, anything like that. That's your body telling you that, number 1, you're probably stressed, but number 2 is that you don't have enough nutrients to feed your immune system to keep these things at bay. The chronic EBV, the shingles, the herpes, all those chronic viruses, your immune system is supposed to police at all times. It's supposed to stay dormant and hidden so you don't have those symptoms. It's kind of like chicken pox. People my age and older, we all got chicken pox, and we are at risk for developing shingles later in our life. The reason why we develop shingles is because the chicken pox virus is dormant by our immune system, keeping it dormant in our spinal cord. And whenever we get stressed, our immune system gets suppressed, then the chickenpox virus comes back out, and when it comes back out, it comes out as shingles. So shingles is really showing you immune dysfunction. chronic EBV or Epstein-Barr is showing you immune dysfunction. So if your immune system's not working, you most likely need more nutrients, and one way to get that is to do an IV protocol. One of the things that's become really popular in the chronic infection, chronic Epstein-Barr world is the high-dose vitamin C infusions. And that's basically pointing out the exact thing I just said, is we're trying to boost the immune system by giving it IV vitamins, and vitamin C is one of the things that, as everyone knows, you need for a functional immune system. So those are some of the symptoms, the 5 symptoms or broad categories of why you may need IV vitamins. Now I want to point out that most people, I want you to know that no one needs vitamin infusions. We should have a functional gut. We should have a functional root system of our tree so that we don't need IV vitamins. There's nothing natural about getting an IV vitamin. These are made in a lab, made in a pharmacy, and sent, and we buy them, and they're administered IV. There's nothing natural about getting vitamins IV. So I want you to know that this is kind of a therapy that we consider as cheating. We're trying to give your body the nutrients it needs in order to repair and heal so that you don't have to stay on the vitamin IV long term. The idea is that most people are stuck in this catch-22 when they're in significant dysfunction of they need nutrients to heal, but their roots are dysfunctional and they can't absorb the nutrients. So by getting IV vitamins, we bypass the gut, we get the nutrients directly into the system, and the body can then use those nutrients to repair, reduce inflammation, and then ultimately can rely on the food it's eating to get those nutrients. So I do want to reiterate that these are not natural, but it is holistic by sense because it's vitamins and there's no drugs in it. So those are some brief symptoms and ideas on why you may consider doing an IV infusion. If you want an infusion, you're welcome to call our office, 512-829-1104, or email us at admin@oobmedical.com. Feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. I'd love to answer it.